Hello! Welcome to Vlogmas Day 2. I am wearing the same sweatshirt as yesterday, and it's kind of amorphous. This is probably a bad idea. This is Java. Java says hi. Okay, fine. She doesn't want to be on camera right now. It's kind of weird for her. Anyway, you're watching The Christiana 32, and I'm The Christiana. And for today's video, I am reviewing a Netflix original movie. I think it was a Netflix original movie. Yeah, a Netflix film called Christmas on Mistletoe Farm. New, came out this year. I didn't recognize most of the people in there, but it is all like British people. There's one person who I did know who is Scott Page. I'm sorry, Fortran is now the best time to do that? Darling. Thank you. So Scott Page, I know from, he is typically a stage actor on the West End. He's also very good friends with another YouTuber, content creator person named Carrie Hope Fletcher. She is also an author and a very, prestigious actress in musical theater in London on the West End, generally. Anyway, so I know of him from her content, and at one point in time he played Uncle Fester, I believe, in one of the Addams Family musicals. Which, have you seen the new Addams Family show on Netflix? It was amazing. I loved it. Jenna Ortega, who played Wednesday, I'm obsessed. She's so great. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Christmas on Mistletoe Farm. So, general plot synopsis. I'm going to try and not do spoilers until a certain point in the video, and I'll let you know when that is if you want to avoid spoilers. But basically, there is a widowed father who is living in the big city. I'm assuming it was London. I don't remember if they said. He's got a very stressful marketing job. It wasn't super specific. His boss is a horrible woman who does not believe kids belong in business. And he is assigned to give a pitch on Christmas Eve. But it's the biggest, most important pitch ever, which I don't know how they do business in England, but no company that I've worked for, even companies that are open and operating on Christmas Eve, because they're power companies and people want lights on Christmas Eve, nobody would have a huge, big, important meeting on Christmas Eve. So right away, we got some issues. But so he's assigned to develop the pitch for it, and then so he's a widowed father of 5 kids, a set of twins, a boy who likes to wear sparkly things, but he's worried because kids at school make fun of him for liking to wear sparkly things, and they all miss their mother very much. But other than those 2 facts of there's a set of twins and a boy that likes to wear sparkly things, the kids are treated as an amorphous blob for the whole movie. They're always together, they're always doing things. I know one of them was named Violet, but I could not tell you which one. They're just always a set throughout the whole thing. But so he gets a letter that he has inherited the Mistletoe Farm from his dad, who he doesn't know, was an absent father, was not, doesn't even know what he looks like, kind of thing. So they pack up, and he tells work that he needs to, take a few days, go on a writing retreat to develop this pitch since it's so big and important. And if he doesn't ace the pitch and get this one client, everyone is fired. everyone, including his boss, I think. So he goes with his 5 kids to this farm that is kind of run down. It's very cute. It's very nice looking, but it smells really bad because the fridge is full of eggs, and some of those eggs are very old. Um, so while exploring the farm, the kids all go to the barn where they see some animals, and it's very cute. The animals are all adorable, and that's where they meet Beano, played by Scott Page, who is the farmhand. And from all of the like trailers and little clips I had seen, I thought he was going to be kind of like one of those magical, is he an elf, like wink wink kind of characters. Um, no, he's just a goofy dude. As far as I can tell, like there wasn't any hints that he was secretly Santa's elf or something. Um, but so Bino introduces them to the farm, shows them how to get the like water and electricity working, tells them the names of all the animals, and introduces them around town. And that's kind of the setup. You got stressed out. He's not a workaholic father. Like he's just an overwhelmed father. Like he's got to do his job, but he's also very present with his kids. And the little bit that we saw of them in London together, like he handmade all of their sandwiches, but accidentally like switched up some. But all in all, none of the like tropes of the absentee, I only focus on work kind of thing. Like he very much loves his kids and was taking care of them, as well as dealing with crazy job stress. Um, Goes out to the country and is a city dude now trying to assimilate into country life and figure out what's going on with the farm. Apparently, when his dad was around, there was somebody who offered to buy it, and so the stressed out city working dad was like, "Well, I mean, tell me more. Sounds very interesting. I already have a home in the city, so why do I need this farm?" And all of the townspeople are very involved in everybody's lives. It is a town of like, I forget, they said the number, like less than 50 people. There are only 2 other children in the town. So they are all like up each other's butts, basically, involved in each other's lives. And so for him to sell the farm to these like big bad developer people who are just going to tear down the farm would be terrible. Where are they going to get all their eggs? So that's the setup. Is stressed out working dad takes all of his kids to the country and is thinking, like, what am I going to do with this house? Should I sell it? Cool. Kind of a typical, a trope within the Christmas movie genre, right? And the townspeople, especially village people. I keep calling them the village people, which at first you're like, okay, like the band, and then turns out it is a joke, and there is a payoff for that joke. This is where the spoilers are going to start. So if you don't want any spoilers, I'll just let you know. I'm going to give it a 3. If you are not watching with children, or I don't even know if it's meant for children, because like I said, you don't focus on the kids really at all throughout the movie. The plot is really centered around the dad, but there's not a super cohesive plot, or I mean there's character development, but it doesn't make sense necessarily with what's going on. And like I was definitely not drinking. Like I had a Diet Coke. I did not have any alcohol, and I couldn't really follow the plot. Like there's a lot of liberties taken with the like. It's just a holiday feel good film, which it is. So if you're not worried about plot uh, or like character development, it's a great movie. I'm gonna give it a 3. I would watch it again, um, but maybe only with like children. But again, I don't know if it's for kids. I can't figure out who this movie is for. Be like it focused too much on the dad's work stuff for it to be just for like children, you know? All right, so spoilers starting now. If you're gonna leave before I start saying the spoilers, leave a comment down below just saying left before the spoilers. If you haven't already, like this video and subscribe. uh, so, I don't know. Okay, so throughout the film, there are 4 baby farm animals that are birthed, and they are is very unrealistic birthing, where they're just automatically clean and fluffy and cute, which leans towards it being a kids movie, I guess. So then there's this vet lady who, like, they have a couple of run-ins, and basically she's good with animals, and the dad guy starts off being on the farm with a rant about how he isn't going to need a vet because vets charge too much, but also he's got like at least a dozen farm animals. So he thinks that vets are a scam. I think he said like the dentist. I forget what the joke was, but it was, yes, I agree they charge too much. In America, dentistry definitely charges a lot. I don't know how it is in England with their like NHS stuff. So I don't know. It was a weird joke, and like you have a bunch of animals. You can't just not have a vet out of principle, you know? Um, so Beano is just kind of like a ridiculous big kid kind of person, um, who may or may not be the main dad character's nephew. He kept saying that main character's dad was his grandpa, but I wasn't entirely certain if it was his real grandpa or if it was just like like a village people kind of thing where it's like, oh, he's everybody's grandpa, you know? Was not clear to me, especially because Beano lives on the farm. Yeah, Fortune was confused as well. Yeah, baby. Okay, so guess what? Vet becomes the love interest, and Dad ends up getting really mad at Beano because Beano kind of gets him fired. I don't know. There's the boss lady, crazy boss lady, decides that she needs to come to the farm. So she comes to the farm on the same day that the developers come to the farm to possibly buy the property. So the village people get wind of this and try and like destroy the developer's idea of the farm, which like these 2 guys aren't going to live on the farm and they're going to tear everything down. So other than them saying that there's like a bad sewer line or something, everything else that they did involved like the animals and the house being kind of a mess and stuff. And so they were just going to tear all of that down and get rid of the animals somehow. So I don't see why that factored into the pitch or into their opinion of the area, other than like wow, all of your neighbors are insane. Um, but so they scare off the developers. It works. Um, and but then the boss lady shows up. Neighbors, crazy village people don't know that it's his boss, and so they treat her just as poorly as they treated the developers, which involved lots of insults. I think they threw eggs at her, just like all this stuff. So she fires the father, which he had nothing to do with that. So it didn't make a whole lot of sense. Um, but whatever, she was crazy too. Uh, so then Dad gets mad at Beano because Beano kind of orchestrated the whole thing, and like kicks him off the farm. So Beano takes the dog and uh, goes away, and ends up going to the big city to convince the developers to come back and buy the farm anyway, and convince the boss to give Dad a second chance. Um, and of course it works. But so the developers come back to the farm with Beano to be like, yeah, we'll buy it. We'll finish signing all the paperwork and stuff. But in the time that Beano was gone, the dad has decided he loves the farm and he loves the vet. And mind you, this is all taking place over like a week or two. But he's in love with this woman. Okay. There are so many things that are wrong, okay? Well, especially with the timeline, and I don't know when um, his wife died. Before the movie started, you know? Um, but to go from, like, his last relationship was his wife, who bore 5 children for him, um, and everything. And then, in just a few weeks, fall in love with the vet. It was weird. I mean, maybe it's all just satire on all of the different, like, Hallmark Christmas movie tropes, I guess. Because then, here, so decided we're gonna keep the farm. But, oh no, all of the animals have escaped. So now we're all gonna run around town trying to find the animals. But the dog, the one that went with Beano to the big city, figures out that one of the farm animals had bells, and you could hear the bells. The dog barks, and Beano knows that that means that the bells are coming from the woods. So they go, and the developers are still there, and they are helping, but are like really weirded out, and why are we doing this? But then they continue doing it, and they're like all buttoned up in their suit and like very serious businessmen, just running around yelling "Jingle, jingle!" the name of the lamb with the bells. So they find Jingle in a hole in the ground in the woods. This hole is not a deep hole. Like, it's deep enough that the lamb would have trouble getting out, but it was probably like maybe like 1.5 feet deep, maybe 2 feet. I'm bad at estimating, but it was not very deep, like less than the length of Beano's arm. Okay. So Beano is gonna go and get the lamb. We got all the town behind us, and all of the town is gonna hold on to him while he like dives into this hole for the lamb, and then the whole town has to like pull him out, and it's like, no. But with finding that lamb, they found all of the animals. And they can go on to do the hoedown showdown at the farm that the dead father did every year, I guess. And it's great. Oh wait, first, one of the old men from the town, who was the lawyer, that was the executor, of the dad's will. The ending of this movie doesn't make sense. Like, all of it is kind of just up to the point where they developers come back to the town. Everything up to then is just kind of like, okay, fun Christmas movie, a little weird, but whatever. Um, Suspension of disbelief, that sort of thing. But then, yeah, the developers running all over town looking for this sheep, and like nobody was really explaining it to them. Nobody really had to convince them. They're just along for the ride. So then they go back to the farmhouse. This old man, who's called Grumpy for whatever reason, I think he played Grumpy in one of the town plays. It wasn't his real name. But anyway, he is a grumpy person, so it fit. And he was the executor of the dad's will. Oh, this part makes me so mad. And so he shows that in the will, it says that the farm can never be sold. And it is there for the family as long as somebody wants to live on it. Which I feel like can't be legit for a number of reasons. However, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. It's making me so mad though. So the developers are like, yeah, no, that's not a real thing. That can't be legit. But then they read the will and they're like, oh, fine, whatever. We didn't want this farmhouse anyway. Blah. And then they leave. Then they have the Hoedown Showdown, where it's like it's cute. Scott Page sings a lot of songs. He's a musical theater performer, actor, guy. So he's got a great voice, and so he does a great job. God. But so the father's boss shows up in time for the Hoedown Showdown and offers him his job back because the pitch that Beano brought them worked and they got the contract. But the dad doesn't want his job back. So he's going to stay on Mistletoe Farm because he found love, because he's in love with the vet that he's known for 2 weeks. Which, I mean, like, him staying on the farm makes sense. Like, it's a family farm. His kids are a lot happier there. They've got, like, all of this stuff going. The village is weird, but all in all, a fun place to be. A good place. They fit better there. He's not as stressed out, blah, blah, blah. Him staying because he fell in love with the vet that he's known 2 weeks. Not as compelling of a reason. But she's standing there with him when they come up, so maybe he's just saying it to get some like extra brownie points, you know? But then boss lady and her like second in command guy, it's been like, I didn't mention him because he doesn't, I don't even know if he had a name. But he's been the one that's been communicating with the dad a lot about like, everybody's gonna lose their job. Do you have the pitch? Blah blah blah. Anyway, so they both go to the Hoedown Showdown, and now all of a sudden, like I guess they were given cowboy and cowgirl outfits that were very shiny with red sequins. Weird, but okay. It's the end of a movie party. Like concessions can be made. All right. Oh. But so right before they go in to the Hoedown Showdown, the dad is wearing a button-up shirt, and he rips open the shirt, and he's got a t-shirt underneath that says, "I'm one of the village people." Okay. And then Scott Page and the band start playing YMCA. Only it's not like they're not DJs. It's a band that you would have at a hoedown. So like somebody's probably on the banjo, you know. acoustic kind of stylings. Yeah. So that's the joke. I'm one of the village people, and then they start playing YMCA, and boss lady and work friend go and dance, and it's adorable. So then, after the hoedown showdown, this guy who kind of looks like Father Christmas shows up and is like he's one of the people from the town crier. And it turns out it's his dad. The one that died and left him Mistletoe Farm in his will. You know that one? Nope. He was alive this whole time. And because of how closely knit the village people are, you know, they're all up in each other's business. That means they all were in on it. Every single one of them, especially Beano. What? Oh my gosh. I can't explain to you. Like, in the last maybe 15 minutes of this movie, every 45 seconds, I just went, what? Because it was just twist after twist after twist. And I can't believe I've been talking for almost 30 minutes about this. It was freaking insane. And I don't understand it. Do I want to understand it? I don't know. Because it was freaking insane. I don't know. Like, all of it up to, like, right up to the last 15 minutes. So, I mean, basically whenever Beano and the developers came back from the big city, everything after that, just like, not even like, oh, suspension of disbelief a little bit. It was batshit. Wait. It was super crazy. It did not make sense. And so, like, go into it, if you're gonna watch it, which I mean, if you've watched a 30-minute video where I went this in depth about it, like, don't waste your time. No, if you're gonna go into it, just go into it knowing that it's a comedy, not a feel-good children's Hallmark movie kind of Christmas movie. Sorry about that. Sorry for anybody wearing AirPods, whatever. So, yeah, if you go into it thinking of it as a comedy, as satire, you'll probably be good. I thought it was going to be a legit thing. There is a decent amount of, like, singing and music and stuff. There's also a lot of kind of slapstick humor up front, where, like, baby pig pees in Beano's mouth, and it's a little bit gratuitous, but whatever. So there's a couple of moments like that where it's just like, those kind of moments make me think it's a kid's movie. Whereas, like, the just complete ridiculousness of the rest of it is what makes me think that it might be just, like, adult satire. I don't know, though. If you have an hour and 45 minutes with nothing to do, I mean, make it into, like, a party game or something. Watch it and, like, let me know. Am I crazy? Did I miss something? I don't know. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this ridiculously long review, in-depth review of Christmas on Mistletoe Farm. Oh yeah, also the mistletoe is magic. It's never clear if it's actually magic or if it's, like, just tradition magic. But that's a whole other plot line. That's, yeah. I can't get over it. So his dad is alive. Grumpy, the executor of his will, knows that he's alive. And rather than telling the developers, hey, this guy that signed the contract doesn't actually own it because the will can't be executed because his dad's not dead yet. Like, rather than explaining that, because we're in a legal law situation, says that the farm can never be sold because some guy put it in his will that the farm can never be sold. There's no way that that is a legal thing. Like, oh, it can't be sold for 5 years after passing. Okay, sure. Or if it's going to be sold, it first buyer's rights goes to the town or something. Like, I could see a clause in there about that, but it just not being allowed to ever be sold ever. Whatever. And the dad was alive. Comment down below, what Christmas movie should I review next? I'm gonna at least watch some more of the new Netflix ones that came out this year. But there's one with Lindsay Lohan. I forget what it's called. It's like Falling in Christmas or something like that. And I've heard mixed reviews. I picked this one first because I thought it was gonna be like a guaranteed banger. Nope. So maybe I should have gone Lindsay Lohan first. I don't know. What Christmas movie should I review next? And please let it be a good one. Because dear Lord. Oh my goodness. Alright, well, thank you for watching this. I'm not going to post any videos this weekend, but I'll be back with Vlogmas on Monday. And good night, sweet dreams.